Hi everyone, a very good evening and wish you all a very very happy new year. My name is Shreya and we are back on the Dare That Conversation series powered by the Grey Matter. Our first guest for 2021 is a former capital markets lawyer turned fashion designer, Ambika Lal. Okay, Ambika is calling me. One sec. My bad. Fashion designer Ambika Lal. We will now invite her and hear all about her journey from passionate lawyering to starting her own fashion label. Ambika, I've sent you an invite. Yeah, you managed.
Hey, hi Shreya, how are you? So good to
I'm good.
see
Welcome to
you.
Dare Act.
Thank you so much. I'm so obliged to be here and I'm so excited. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank
So
you.
I was
Thank
just
you.
introducing you while you were calling me on WhatsApp.
Sorry, I'm a little technologically a little off. Let's just put
We
it
all
that
are.
way. Yes.
Anyway, so you
Yeah.
have a very fascinating journey, and I just want to jump straight to the questions, if that's okay
Y-
with you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Please, let's go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is very, very basic. Why did you choose to become a lawyer?
Why did I choose to become a lawyer? Well, that's a very exciting question, and that's been a part of me since I can probably remember. Probably class ninth, maths class 10th. So I did very well in my 10th board, and before that, like people started asking me, "What do you want to become?" and what is the choice of profession that you would like to choose? And that's when I was like, maybe somebody suggested that what, you'll become a great lawyer. And I was like, why do you think so? And the comeback would be like, you can get out of situations, you're really good in argument, you can get out of any arguments. So I was like, okay, fine. And that stayed in my mind, and I just kind of like put it in my head that, all right, what, I'm going to be a great lawyer. And that is
Hmm.
how I was decided that I want to be a lawyer. There was
Wow.
no aage piche, nothing. It was just that. um Post that, once I did my 10th, and then we had a career counselor that came into our school, and we were like, and I was always associated with a lot of extracurricular activities, and I was obviously a good student. So I had a discussion with my principal, and he wanted me to continue doing my debates and my elocutions and the other like sports and everything that I would was involved in. So I was like, okay, what's the next best option? So he again suggested that, if you take up commerce, so the thing is, if you take up sciences, of course, it's going to be like taking a lot of your time into like
Hmm.
doing a lot of assignments and stuff. Whereas with commerce, right, it's okay. You can do this along with kind of following your dream and following your passion. So I was like, great. So I'm going to be a lawyer. That's it. So in
And
class 10th, being very honest, I wasn't sure that I will make it to ILS or other competitive colleges that I was looking at with my parents and what my parents suggested. None of that. It was just that class 10. I was like, this is it. I know my profession, and you're a wild child that time, right? You're as naive as it can get.
yeah.
So I think it's too um, innocent, I would say, for a person to like suggest a profession at 14 years of your age. So what you wanted to do. But at that point, it was just law. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much, it's very relatable because I think that kind of happens with most of the kids. I think the generation right now is fairly lucky because they have a lot of career counselings and they have a freedom to decide, make mistakes. But back then, there was like a lot of pressure to decide like that perfect thing that you want to do. And, preference was given to professional courses, which is not the case now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, so my dad's been in the army, and he's a general in the army. So all that discipline that people think that I would, and my sister, I have an older sister, that we both of us would have. So ultimately, we both are girls and we were very, very pampered at home, right? But at the same time, for us, if you see all our cousins all along and how the sort of, there was never an option of even thinking that we would do fashion. Like I was good with fashion, but I don't remember discussing it with my parents that should I make this my career choice. It wasn't even a question. My question was relating to like either being a lawyer or being a doctor or a consultant. So my sister grew up and she got into consultancy. A lot of my cousins, they're mostly like doctors, consultants, lawyers. So it wasn't ever a point of discussion again, right? In the family. Probably if I would have discussed with my family, they would have been like, okay, go ahead with it. But all that we thought was like, these are the typical professions that, and you're a good student, you worked hard and you've done well in school. So this is what it is. So, yes.
So you had that in your mind that you will be a lawyer. How did you narrow down on IELTS as your preference?
Okay. So, yeah, so that is a great question. And let me just share one anecdote with you, in fact. So how I decided to join ILS is like this one long story. So it started off with me being decided by the end of class 10th that I want to be a lawyer, right? So right after that, it was which college are you going to join, right? Like your parents are after your head, and like, are you working towards it? What is the aim? Do we need to fill in the forms for the entrances? Blah blah blah, all of that. So there were a couple of my cousins who were in these one or two colleges, and they are absolutely renowned and really great. And to name a few, there was Nalsar and there was Bhopal, right? So these are the national law colleges there, and I was like, great, let me just try for that. And I did. I gave the exam. I qualified and I got cleared. But the point was, all that I heard from them was that they're outside of the city, right? So once you are getting out of class 12 and you're as naive as I was, and I was this naughty kid who was like really taken care by the parents. So all that I was expected as college life would be like, that Karan Johar sort of a thing. That, oh, it's all fun and games. And you know how your moms tell you, class 12th ho gaya, great. Now you will make it. Just do your boards really well and you're done. So that was the kind of excuse I maintained. However, once I cleared these two exams, I realized that on Times of India, oh, sorry, it's not Times of India, it's India Today.
India Today.
India Today. Yes. So it comes the rating of the top 5, top 10 colleges, right? In every department, like architecture, interiors, law, whatever. So when it came to law, it was ILS. And ILS being the, say, the oldest law college that our country has, with all our chief justices from being there and our senior associates and senior advocates, right? Everyone's from ILS. So obviously it gave me that sort of budge, and I was like, Mom, look, ILS is top number 1. Of course, I will get back to the actual facts later, but it showed number 1. And I was like, Mom, you know what? I'm getting into it. And I want to join ILS. Along with that, ILS is in Pune, which is the Oxford of the East, right? Like people say it. It is, like that's what they say, right? Like because of Symbiosis and Ferguson and a lot of colleges being there. So I was like, great, let's just join that. So that's how it started. And my mom was obviously convinced, and she was like, are you sure you're going to make it? Because that goes on to the percentile that you kind of get in your 12th grade. However, thank God, I did. And I am so glad I did it. Because for a person like me, it's always been to get into something where your entire like mindset is like you're really happy being there, right? So, so I mean, it doesn't come to me very naturally to decide. You, I mean, not even decide. It's something like, let's put it that way, that I don't think much when I.
Okay, she's frozen.
So
Yeah, you're back.
sorry. Yeah. So, yes, I'm back. So that's how it happened, man. And ILS was great. I mean, I had the best 5 years of my college life. I mean, I can't even tell you how great it was. And along with it,
You know,
like
when
you,
you say that, when you
yeah,
say that you had the best 5 years, I have to share this not so fun fact about Ambika. She interned throughout those five
yes,
years. She in
yes.
fact did 12 internships, which is insane, and I'm really
So,
intrigued to ask why.
all right, okay, sorry. So, yes, so I have to be absolutely sane about it. But so, while it came, so there are two things, right? It's work and play. So, when you're working, it was just work. So, from my first year, second semester, that's when I started interning, and I interned continuously. So from starting from Pavan Dugal, who's like a cybercrime lawyer, and then doing a bit of litigation because I thought maybe I might choose litigation. I was quite unaware of what I want to do. So I was like, I was doing everything. And so my first 2 years was probably litigation. And then it was like Luthra, JSA. And then it was just Amarchand, 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 Khetan, Amarchand, Amarchand. So that's how it happened. So those were my 12 internships that I did. So basically, during college life, I was having a great time. I was like, studying, having a great time in college, having fun, all of that. But during all the 4 months that we get off, so that's for your study leave, summer, and winter break. At that point, it was just hard work. And that time, there was no looking back. It was just that push yourself and do the max that you can. So, yes.
And so you received your PPO in your fourth year from Amarchand, and you were in
That's
the
right.
capital markets team. And we all have heard about how tiring sometimes capital markets can be as a subject in terms of the tedious long working hours, but you thoroughly enjoyed your experience as a capital markets lawyer. So why don't you share a little bit about how was that experience for you? What were the things that you absolutely loved, and what were the things that you didn't enjoy so much?
Okay, so let's start with the things that I didn't enjoy. Let's start with that because I've already kind of beautified how lovely my experience has been being a lawyer. But so because I interned, I had a gradual idea of how, the entire profession, how demanding the profession is, and also the kind of pressure that comes into being a good lawyer, right? So there are no weekends, there is no those soft corners that you can hit on in between and just like take a chill pill. That doesn't happen. You are in the mecca of the best law firm ever that you expect it to be. So, and once I joined Amarchand, of course there was a lot of competition. There is a lot of cutthroat competition that happens, and you see everyone, every individual, every lawyer who is there is established, is known, and also is ready to give that much of time and energy to the profession, right? So what happens that time is all that you can do is push yourself and try to be your best version. Of course, like capital markets isn't something which is taught to us as a subject, right? Like we've done constitution, we've done corporate law, we've done psychology, we've done different like IP, but we haven't done capital markets as a subject. So the very fact that I had interned with them, that kind of really helped me out. And I knew about how the firm functions and what their demands are like. However, uh, Yes, there have been sleepless nights, no denying that. There were times when you were told for the right reasons while you were drafting an email, from the smallest things like from best regards to kind regards and smallest things like that. But that's what makes you the person that you are. So I'm utterly grateful to what they kind of made me turn into the person that I am right now. And I guess my team would be even more excited and happy about it because they're getting the same version of me, like that.
That's beautiful. So great
Yes.
working, excellent work at work, doing professionally really well. You were like one of the sought after senior associates in these tier one firms. Everyone's trying to poach you from different angles. And at that point, I just wonder what made you quit law?
So actually, okay. So I'll tell you. So it was Amarchand for about like 3 years. And uh, so while I was at Amarchand, I got an offer from HDFC because we were working with them. And as an independent lawyer, they asked me to join them. And that's when I joined them for, say, about like few months and stuff. That's when I got a call from, while I was working for them and I finished the transaction. Right after Amarchand was a call from Ketan in Bombay,
Hmm.
right? And it was one of the coolest partners who was like approaching you, and I was like very very delighted to be a part of him. So that was Abhimanyu Bhattacharya, and I was like, great, I would love to join. And I joined Ketan, and of course, joining at a lateral position, it's always great. And any individual who has been a part of Amarchand knows the basic it. As a lawyer, you quite settle, like you know
Hmm.
exactly how to deal with situations and stuff. So once we joined Abhimanyu and Khatan, it was all great, it was all going smoothly, and like of course I moved from Delhi to Bombay. And then, life happens, and life happens in the way like I decided to get married. And as I told you, because I had been interning continuously for the 5 years of my law college, and I had worked for 5 years. So I was like, it's all right. Like, you were in a great position to take a sabbatical. And the sabbatical in my head at that point was like, you'll just take a break, and you'll decide what's next, and you'll go on with it. However, when marriage happened, during the shadi time, it was like I would go through Instagram and I would see this Huda Beauty. That was one of the
Yeah.
um, influencers, or whatever you may call her. Like, she's a businesswoman right now, but she was this influencer that I would follow. And at that point, I'm talking about 2015 and 2016. So there were not too many Indian influencers, right? So I would follow her and I would be like, wow, dude, like that's great. Like, they're just sitting on the screen and they're just speaking up. Wow. And that's how I got into, developed an interest in makeup. So fashion
Hmm.
for me was already always there. However, when the makeup thing before the wedding, you know which look you want to look out for and what will suit you, what won't. So it just gets, I mean, you're more captivated towards that. So that's when I realized Instagram, that the existence of Instagram, and how much one can do just being
Hmm.
on this as a platform. Yeah.
Wow. And okay, so you went ahead, did your makeup course, and you also started your own label.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, 6 to 8 months of the launch of that label, you received the Emerging Fashion Designer of the Year award. And the same night, to add cherry to the cake, you were invited to showcase at the Lakme Fashion Week
Yes.
winter season 2019. Tell us all about that day and what did those achievements mean to you?
Okay. So this is an achievement that I want to speak about. So how it started was, um it was, I think, end of 2008, or starting of 2018, Jan or something. I got an invitation that, so there's a nomination that they keep or whatever, and they decided, the jury had decided that I was winning the award for the emerging designer of the award of the year, which was spectacular, right? However, you understand your own shortcomings, right? So I'd been in the profession for 6 months, but when opportunities knock, and that too some great opportunities, you do not refuse. So that's my mantra, and I follow it unconditionally. So the opportunity came, and they were like, listen up, we will be giving you this award, and also along with it you'll be showcasing one of your collection there, which has to be completely like something which people haven't seen, something new. So this was a time gap of 1 year, 1 month that they gave me. So this happened in probably Jan, and Feb is the month when I had to showcase, and I was winning this. I was like, oh, all right, let's move from the pret wear that I do and the regular wear. Let's do something that I really feel for. And fashion has been in me somehow, like from the beginning. So I don't think I even thought about it or took a break and be like, how will I do it? No, nothing. These questions never came in, and thank God, touch wood. I don't know why it didn't. So I was like, let's go ahead. We did like 12 outfits, and I was again with the showstopper. I had to work the ramp because I was the 12th model of the outfit.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
walked the ramp at the same time I was winning the award, and
Wow.
I was like, all right, awesome. And of course, before that, before going in for so this happened at the Leela Gurgaon. So before that, of course, I posted it on my Facebook account saying that, like, so happy to be showcasing at this, and also being awarded this award, so and so. So one of my school friends, who's, I'm not like very, very close to him, but like an acquaintance. But however, he messaged me on as a comment saying, see you at Lakme Fashion Week. Your collection looks fab. Okay, so and I'm like, because I was with my parents and my husband and everyone, and I was like, look, dude, like imagine Lakme Fashion Week, that would be great, isn't it? So after that, the ceremony, I think this entire award function finished at about 11, and then we were supposed to go for like post dinner and meet and greet sort of a thing that happens. And 11:33, I remember the time exactly. The same day, I got an invitation for Lakme Fashion Week, and I mean
You're
all
doing
the
some
doubts.
serious law of attraction, Ambika.
No, I swear in God, I believe in law of attraction so much, because sometimes what you're like really supposed to do and what you're meant to do, it will attract you. Like even for me, like like however this conversation is going, but trust me, class 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, second year of college, third year of college, third year of work, all that I could speak was law. And it was just like, I just want to be like a great lawyer. And that's what you work towards. But somewhere there was in the back of your head something which was just like boiling and trying to, find its space to kind of like fall. And then for
Receiving.
you to find the pieces and, like start with it all again. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So
Yes.
Lakme happened, and tell me this one thing. You started your business, which is now a fairly big team, and you're running a great fashion label, which is fairly popular as well. Um, we also have to keep in mind that there is no formal qualification that you've had in fashion as such, and the fashion industry is extremely competitive. So how did you deal with the competition and the criticism, and what kept you moving? Did you ever feel intimidated? I'm sure you must have. So how did you deal with that part of
Of
you?
course, Shreya, you're right. Of course, you feel intimidated, and you feel intimidated not at the very start because you're just starting out. You feel intimidated when you start growing. As soon as you start growing, there's a lot of people who would try to give you the kind of advice, says criticism that you fall through, and of course, you you haven't studied it, right? So I went to London. I did a course that was for 1 year. Whereas for law, I'd studied for 5 years and then I'd worked for 5 years. So that's 10 years of my life
Yes.
right there. Right. Whereas with fashion, can I describe, can I put it in words? So fashion, that 10 years of, that's 5 years of, say, the experience or the practicality, that was already there.
Yeah.
But the knowledge has to be taken care of. So, of course, you had criticism. There were people who would pull you down. There were people who told you, right, like from your finishing or this is. You got to learn, right? I mean,
Correct.
I'm this person. So, I'm this person. I know when I'm right. Maybe I do not take that criticism that time. But the time when I know that I can do better, I'm all the way out and I'm ready for every individual to tell me and criticize me and say, like, you know what, this sucks. You could do this better. And that's how, I mean, that's how you grow. The very, the main aim is to grow. The main aim is to become the best version of yourself and make the most out of what you can do, right? So these things eventually, like if you take it positively, these things actually help you out every single time, right? Even in law, in fact, I feel like any industry, every time you enter industry and you want to excel, there will be people who will tell you what's right, what's wrong, because they have the experience, they have the exposure. You, I'm still very young. I'm still like my 30s, like, just getting there. There are people who've been there for so long. The kind of exposure that they have, I'm still evolving. The very fact, the day you realize that you are evolving as a person, there's no looking back. You will always excel.
Wonderful. Thank you for that
Yeah.
honesty. I think it's commendable.
Thank
In
you.
2020, with the lockdown and the pandemic, the fashion business kind of came to a standstill. How did you keep yourself busy?
So, in 2017 end, while so that was like post my London, all the fashion and stuff that I came down with. So there was a little buzz in Calcutta because you're just another new person and you were establishing your business or something, and there were like a lot of people, a lot of clientele that came my way. So what happened during that time was a lot of people used to love speaking to me and they would feel happy about it and they would be like, can you do take some certain sessions with us, and can you just speak to us, motivate us, give us these pep up talks? And it was something which came very very naturally, so I would do it. So I started doing that in 2017 end, and I did it for about like maybe 3 clients. And before I knew it, it was the Birla Group. So they have the school and the universities in Calcutta. Calcutta is all about Birla, to be very honest. So they have like a lot of like the schools and the universities. Then they have the Birla Cement, Birla Tires, all of that stuff. So it started from the school, motivating class 12th students and speaking about like my journey, whatever little journey that I had till then, and just speaking about it. And I was like, great, it was going absolutely fine. And then it went on to speaking to the professors, then doing the universities, then it became all the executives and the managers
Wow.
at Billa Tires, Billa Cement. We did couple of TCS, then I did JLL, it's a real estate firm. So it just continuously happened, and which was absolutely flawless. And so I kind of stopped that in between because we had Lakme and all of that. So I would do it occasionally and I would choose my clientele. However, when the lockdown happened and it was like a complete standstill, that's when I decided that, you know what, should I kind of like get back to it? Before I could think, this is like 15th or the 20th day of the lockdown, I get a call from Birla again, and they were like, now we have Zoom calls. So can we just
Wow.
start with doing that? And then we had a lot of their individual, the people who had attended those sessions, they wanted to do independent sessions because, it was like one-on-one session and there was time for,
Yeah.
that they had time in their hands. So like, why not? So that's how it started. So the
Wow.
entire lockdown was absolutely fabulous. And every time that I felt a little let down or I felt less motivated, I was thoroughly encouraged because of motivating others. I was motivated myself. You speak it and you just get it done.
Wonderful. That's so nice. So basically, you've been prepping for 2020 since 2017.
No,
Long
dude. So I know. I disagree. I mean, it's just, some things which are planned out for you and you're
I'm
very,
just
very
kidding.
like, yeah, but like when you're very, very passionate about it, I think things just turn around. The very fact I'm speaking to you today, like, it's
And we
great.
met 7 years
It's
ago.
great. Exactly. Exactly my point. So, things just kind of churn out and the most beautiful aspects come out like that.
Wonderful. So tell me, what, according to you, is your strongest suit?
Hmm. Okay. That's a hard one. You tell me. I mean, I don't know, yeah. I think, first of all, undying faith in myself. I adore myself and love myself unconditionally. So there is never a self-doubt. So whenever there's been a change in profession or anything, it was never like, मैं क्या करूँगी? No. I
Hmm.
always knew whatever you'll do well. So that wasn't the question. So,
Yeah.
I mean, as silly as it may sound, but I'm quite self absorbed and very happy and content with myself. And I feel that surety that I know that I can push myself, I can work really, really hard. And it doesn't take me much to change certain things what will work. Like, so I'm not very like stringent about my ideas, right? I'm open to ideas.
Hmm.
I'm
That's
okay to accept that what's new and will that work for me or not. I'm ready to accept that. So probably if you, I mean, if this works,
and clearly
yeah,
it's
that's
gone
it.
really well for you. This it has
Touch
worked
wood,
out.
touch wood, touch wood, and yeah, yeah, it
Amazing.
is.
So
Yeah.
so tell me, like you said, capital markets is not really taught in schools, and it's something you have to figure out with experience, the subject of it and things around it. Any advice for young capital markets lawyers that you may
Ah,
have since you
that's
mentored a
that's
few?
that's again that's the most difficult question that you asked me right now. So with capital markets lawyers, even when I went, it was like it was head on, right? It is the cream of the profession, right? It is very, very, I mean, you've never been taught, and it's like a lot of client facing. It is a lot of research. Uh, it's it's a it's a niche practice area, per
Yeah.
se. So all that I can advise is that once you're getting in there, be very sure that I'm ready to work hard and I'm ready to learn, because you can be the best in your college, but once you're like a capital markets lawyer, you can't expect yourself to be like knowing anything because we haven't been taught. So the practical knowledge is what like gets you to be a good lawyer. And of course, the kind of team that you are surrounded with. Like I had a beautiful team at Amarchand and at Ketan. So that kind of made sense, right? Like, and that also pushed me to become like the person that I was and how well that I did in my law.
And clearly you made the most of the opportunity that was given to you by each of these firms. So
Keeping
that's
it
great.
at that, yes, keeping it at that.
Okay, so our one request is, are you wearing one of your collections?
Yes, I am.
Can we get a sneak peek in what you're wearing
Okay.
right now?
So I'm wearing this dress. I Can you see it? I don't know. Will
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Oh,
this is
that's
this
beautiful.
red knot dress that I'm wearing. This is from my collection. and I absolutely love it. And
Amazing.
we have, yes. So I'm mostly with all the Instagram live and all the interviews and stuff that we do. I obviously have to be wearing my collection. There's no way out. That's the best to do.
Amazing. Fantastic. And you look gorgeous. I don't think I have to even say that, but like it goes without saying also.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so Ravina has this one question. Can you
Yes.
explain capital markets in absolutely three simple pointers for somebody who has no
Capital.
idea?
Okay. Okay. IPO. Okay. DRHP and requisition list.
Okay, what is DRHP? We have to see the full form as well.
Okay, so it's like the draft red herring prospectus that we draft, and then it goes on to the RHP, which is the red herring prospectus. But the DRHP is the one with lawyers and lawyers my age. Of course, with the partners, is the RHP. But for us, we are the ones who are like drafting it and working around it, doing all the research work. And there is a lot of this requisition lists that we go through every now and then, only doing the research. So yeah.
Wonderful. This has been fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being yourself. And it's what a fantastic start to 2021, I must say.
Thank
And I'm
you,
very glad
Shreya.
we had
You've
you.
been lovely. And I'm like, all the best to you because this seems absolutely fabulous, man. Like, I love this. And getting
Thank you.
all the people to speak to you and, like getting onto social media, like getting all the lawyers to be here. I think it's great.
Trying on whatever little bit we can. And
Yeah.
we also want to appreciate and thank you for being a part of the Dare Act, the Grey Matter community. And thank you for daring to act differently. I'm sure you'll be an absolute inspiration to many, many youngsters. And with that, I also have one special news to share with you and with everyone watching us.
All
The
right.
Grey Matter went live with the launch of the website of our website yesterday, and it would mean the world to us if you could visit us on our website and tell us how you find it. The link is in the bio, and if the hyperlink is basically www.thegreymatter.co.in. So please visit us, and it means the world to us. Thank you so much, Ambika,
Thank you,
for
Shreya. Thank you for having me. And guys, please, 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 all my people, please follow this Grey Matter LLP and visit the site right away now. Right now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful week.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. See you.